It's gonna be a beautiful evening tonight. Let's go. Greetings, good.
Yeah, I can hear you now. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Are you okay?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, even though your lighting is kind of bad, I think the sunlight. Is it the sunlight? I think it should be evening.
Just 1 sec. Let me try and. Is that better? Is that better?
Not really, but I think I think it can work. I think it can work. How you had a good day?
Yeah, I've been coaching all day, so very busy. But yeah, it's good. It's very hot in England at the minute, so it's a bit tough coaching. But it's apart from that, everything's good. Just very busy because a lot of the players are getting ready to go back into their clubs. So it's my busiest time of the month, busiest time of the year. Sorry, June. All the players obviously they have their holidays, then they come back and they start working early, preparing themselves to go back in with their clubs, their parent clubs.
Oh, so basically, most of your work is now, like not during the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I work all year round, all year round. But this time of the season in England is very busy. This time of year, because a lot of players, like I said, they finish the season, then they go on holiday with their families, then they come back and they start working very early before they go back into their clubs. So it's a very busy time. Everyone wants to go back in looking sharp, fit. So, you know, it's a busy month. I'm busy all year round. I don't stop.
Okay, so I don't want to twist things a lot. So let's take it from the beginning, Scotty. You've been a kid, you played soccer, right? But I can't find like any record of you playing professional football. Have you played professional football before?
No, I actually didn't know. So I played semi-professional, which is the sort of level below, obviously, professional. So I'd done that for a few years, and then I got into coaching really early. I started coaching when I was 18. So I've now been coaching, nearly 30 years. So I started that when I was younger, and then I worked at Tottenham for 10 years, I think. And then I left Tottenham and went to Queen's Park Rangers. And then from Queen's Park Rangers, I sort of come away and I started doing one-to-one work. And then I went into the striker side of stuff. And it sort of went from there, and it just went crazy. I've just worked with so many players now across Europe, England. Yes, it's just busy. It's going very well, and I love it. What I do, it's fantastic. Very lucky person, to be fair.
Yeah. Blessed to be precise. Okay, let's do this. When you joined Spurs, that's your first professional. Actually, it's your first professional team that you're coaching now, right?
Yes, Tottenham was the first professional environment that I was in, which was good. I was working in the academy there, though, so it was with the younger age groups. It wasn't with the first team. And then QPR, Queen's Park Rangers, was my second professional setup, where I worked with some of the younger players there as well. And then, I've been working with senior pros when I started doing the striker coaching. That's when I started working with more senior players as such.
So, like, when you move from Tottenham, you go into QPR. Like, it's an age a bit older than the ones you were with at Tottenham. Does that make any difference? Does that make your work a bit easier because now they understand?
They was about the same age, if I'm honest. So it was a similar age. So it was a similar stuff. A few of the Tottenham coaches had left to go to QPR because the head of recruitment left Tottenham and he went to QPR and as the academy manager, and he took 4 or 5 of the coaches over with him. So it was so it was roughly the same age groups anyway. So it wasn't much different. The level was different, obviously, because I'm coming from a Cat 1 academy to a Cat 2 academy. So the level was very different. So, like, for instance, we're in Tottenham, it was Cat 1 Academy, so you're playing against Arsenal, Chelsea, you know, them sort of players, and QPR was playing the sort of level below that. So it was a different level, but it was challenging. It was a good experience, and yeah, it was. Yeah, I loved it. It was very good time.
One thing that surprises me, like when I look at your social media stuff, you talk about other things, but I don't see you mentioning QPR a lot. I kind of don't understand that. Is everything okay?
I think I talk about the Pirates more than anything on there. The Pirates is my new team, but look, I don't really like to. I talk about the past. That was a long time ago now, so I talk about the players I work with quite a bit. I post about them, but you know, the Pirates was a special time for me, and I loved it. I was welcomed so much into the country by the people, by the supporters, by the manager, by the owners, by the players. It was just a special time. It's a time that I'll never forget. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll go back. I don't know at the minute. But it was great. Everything about it, the culture, and to be embraced so much by the supporters and the players themselves.
Was it the first time you received that kind of love in the club?
Well, it's the first time to work in a club like that. No, I've worked with, I'm involved in clubs in England, in a League Two club. A couple of times I went in and was working with their strikers, and then the offer come from Pirates, and it was too good to turn down. It was an opportunity that, obviously, you know about South African football, especially at Tottenham, because Tottenham used to go there pre-season and play against Pirates, the Chiefs. So I was aware.
I was asking, like, what is it that you enjoy the most, like, in South Africa besides football?
Yeah, like I was saying, the most that I enjoyed was the people, to be honest with you, the culture, just the way everyone was, the food. The food was amazing. But yeah, just how welcomed I was by everyone, like even the guys in the hotel where I was staying. Like I said, I stayed at the Wanderers, so I used to go over to there to watch some of the T20 cricket games. Everyone was so welcoming there. Just everything, really. Like I said, it's just a place, an amazing place. The weather was unbelievable. You know, I come away from the winter in England to the summer in South Africa, so it was nice. But yeah, overall, just an amazing country with amazing people, and the supporters are just amazing. The way football is their life.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. That football is their life. It's just everything they do is just football, 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 and it's amazing. It's like football is like a religion in South Africa.
Yeah, it's a religion.
It's especially with the Pirates fans, you know, and it was great experience. Like I said, somewhere I would always go back.
Yeah, but don't just say the Pirates fans. We respect you, but we can't be Chiefs fans out here.
No, look, like I said, the Pirates fans was obviously the ones that I was working with, but like I said, all the other supporters and everything in the stadiums was amazing. And look, I'm going to say Pirates fans because obviously I worked at the Pirates club, and that's the club that I was with, and you know their fans were absolutely amazing. But like I said, in general, sometimes when I used to go out, other supporters used to recognise me from other clubs, and they used to say stuff, but it was all friendly stuff, you know. So I remember we was driving out the game against Sundowns, and when we was driving at the Orlando Stadium, it was just full of Sundowns supporters. And I didn't travel on the coach. I was actually in the minibus with the players that didn't play that game. And I was actually sitting in the front. And the Sundowns supporters obviously knew who I was, but they was great. You know, they was singing songs and shaking the minibus. But it was all friendly stuff. It was all friendly stuff. And yeah, like I said, they're amazing supporters. Just in football out there is crazy, but a good crazy. It's a good crazy, how it should be.
It's beautiful. So you're saying like the only thing that's standing between you and coming back is another contract?
Yes.
So what if they called you for? If they called you for the whole season? Would you come through the whole season?
I'm not sure how much I can say on here, if I'm honest with you. If the opportunity was there, then yes, I would. If the opportunity was there. But look, I went out there with a job to do and I done it. And, you know, we put a lot of things in place. A lot of stuff's continued. I speak to the players now, they're still doing the same thing. So maybe there's not a need for me to come back, you know, because everything's sort of been put in place. Like I said, and they've continued to do it. When I left, the goals was 2 per game. And when they finished the season, it was 2 per game. So it's kind of stayed itself. But like I said, if the opportunity was there, you know, I would, yeah. It's not something that I would turn down. It's a great place. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I love that. Just that feeling of just everyone loves football, you know, and that passion and that will to win, the competitiveness. It's just, yeah, it was a fantastic experience.
Okay, so before we move on from Orlando Pirates,
Sorry?
you seem to believe. Before we move on from Orlando Pirates, right? You seem to believe in Coach Jose like deeply. So, what is it that impresses you like about him?
He is unbelievable. When you get to spend every day for 6 weeks with someone, watching them, listening to them, you know, you get a good idea of someone and a good opinion of someone. And his eye to detail, everything, the way he speaks, the way he manages players. I knew within a week of being around him that things was going to turn around for the Pirates. I knew it because his philosophy, his way. Look, don't forget, when he came in, they won a trophy nearly straight away. I think it was early. He won the cup straight away. And then there was a lot of changes. They had to then get used to his way. His way is very different. He's a European coach. He's not an African coach. He's a European coach. So he wanted to play a certain way. Yes, you've got to have players to play a certain way. But if you haven't got the right players to play a certain way, you then have to develop players to play a certain way, which is what he had to do. And it was always going to take a little bit of time. But I think he got there and he done it. I think his willingness, the sessions he used to put on, some days used to blow me out the water. They was just, he is like, how can I put, what's the best word to that? Football is his life. All he talks about is football. Yes, he has a family, but I don't think I spoke to him. Sometimes I asked him how his family was, but this conversation always come back to football. You know, he wants to do well in football. And of course he wanted the Pirates to do well. Of course he did. That's why he was there. But he's just, I learned so much from him. So I'll always take that away with me as well. That I learned a lot from him, the way he speaks to players, his ideas, his outlook on football, how he thinks football should be played. You know, and I just think he has a real good way. And look, the good way of judging it is the players love him. The players love him.
I'm out here switching between routers, so it's crazy. I'm trying to find the better connection. So yeah.
That's better. I've got you now. I can hear you perfect.
Okay, so we were talking about you being successful with the I don't know how to pronounce the females team. Like,
Billericay.
Billericay.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not want to butcher it. So, what would you say like was the reason behind your success there? You winning the league?
Like I said before, it was just a group of players and getting a winning mentality. Really, like I said, they had never been up in that league above, and I went in there, recruited really well, got them playing a really good brand of football, and you know, we went on and won the league. I think like I said before, we lost 1 game, so it was a really, really good season.
Probably the best season ever.
Yeah, apart from I think the Pirates this season was better.
I really love Pirates.
two cups and finishing second in the league. I'll take that.
You know, I wanna like something was said on the radio. You do watch Marawa Sports Live, right? Because Zukamoji talked about it in Marawa Sports Live.
Yeah,
so
I did watch that.
They also mentioned that Jose should be mentioned as probably coach of the season because he came.
Say that again.
You said something?
Yeah. I didn't hear what you said then. It broke up. Sorry.
Oh, I stopped speaking because I realized you were saying something. No, I was talking about Marawa's post. They were saying like Coach Jose should actually be mentioned amongst like top two coaches if he's not coach of the season because he came through at a difficult time, limited squad, but he managed to achieve like 2 titles on his first season.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's some good. I don't know if I can pronounce his name right. The Sundowns. Is it how do you pronounce the Sundowns manager?
Rulani.
Runani. Yeah. Sorry. He's done a fantastic job. Obviously, I think Gavin Hunt at Supersport has done a fantastic job. Gavin's really good. You know, Jose's done really well. You know, Richards Bay had a really good season. I know they fell down a little bit, but they was up there. I think newly promoted. Was they newly promoted this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they was up there fighting for quite a lot of the season, in and amongst that little group below the top. So there's a few of them there, but I would like Jose to get it because obviously, you know, my affiliation with the Pirates. I think he out of him and them three, Gavin Hunt, the Killian, and Jose.
Okay, so we did talk about Pirates a lot. Like we talked about Pirates a lot. So you work with individual strikers. Like before you work with the likes of, let me say, Watkins or Elliot, doesn't matter. Do you talk to the coaches first, or do you only do your drills? How does that work? Do you not disturb the philosophy of the coach?
No, I never work against what the coach says because that would be unfair of me to do that. Because if a coach wants a player to play a certain way, then I have to coach that way. Otherwise, it's disrespectful to the coach, and two, it's not going to do the player any good. So normally the players, I don't really deal with the coaches, but the player tells me, and I know the way that most teams like to play in England anyway. So if it's a player that you know that plays up front on his own in between two defenders, then we'll work on that. We'll work on him playing in them sort of areas. If it's a player that likes to drop off, go out wide, if the manager likes him to go wide and receive the ball, then we'll work on finishing from wide areas. So yeah, I never interrupt with what the manager does. We just try and enhance and give them more repetition and more work and practice around them areas where the coach wants them to receive the ball.
You mentioned it on one of your interviews. I think it was on Sky Sports. That's why you made me understand like the role of a strikers coach pretty well, because I did not understand how a strikers coach can be there the whole week. Like nah, man, just be there 2 days and leave. But like after you explained that, sometimes it's not just about like you have to know where the player is struggling. Maybe it's outside the box. Maybe it's the positioning. Like you make me understand it a bit better.
Yeah, so there's all different. There's the different parts of forward play, and like I said, it's most of it's repetition for strikers. Jose said it in the interview that he said about me. It's just strikers need that feeling of scoring goals through the week in training. They need that feeling. So when it comes to the match day at the weekend, you know they've had that feeling all week of scoring goals. So it's a confidence builder. So then they take that confidence into the game, and I think that's one thing that some clubs don't do because look, it's not the manager's fault because the manager focuses on his team. He sometimes they forget that the strikers need that time. If they're working on opposition stuff, you know, they've got their players there, they're working on how they can hurt the opposition team. Do we need to attack wide areas? I think sometimes the last thing they think of is, right, you four go over there and practice finishing. You know, if them four are going to be starting in that starting 11, then he wants them in what he's doing. So sometimes that gets a little bit overlooked, and I think it's changing now with some clubs. They're putting a bit more emphasis on that, where the strikers are getting that little bit of, I call it love, that little bit of love in the week where they can get that practice in and just get the repetition in, and then just create good habits for the games at the weekend.
Respect. That makes a lot of sense. like I want you to name like one player out of Orlando Pirates that you think can pull up in the EPL and hit the ground running.
That can play where? In England?
Yeah.
There's a few. I think it.
Yeah, that can play in the EPL. EPL specifically.
I think it'd be unfair to sort of name one because there's a few. Look, there's some good players.
Now, I wanted to ask about like the players you think would hit the ground running in the EPL, and I don't want players from Orlando Pirates because I know you'll be diplomatic about the answer. So name someone out of Orlando Pirates that you think would be a good fit in the EPL, and where do you think he would play?
It's a bit unfair to name people in the Pirates, to be fair, because obviously there's good players there. I wouldn't want to sort of name players that there's players in that squad that I work with that I think could definitely come and play in England, definitely. And what I've seen in South Africa, some of the other players I can't, if I'm honest, I can't really remember their names off the top of my head. But I know Sundowns had some very good players. SuperSport had some very good players. You know, there's players that have played in Europe already for Pirates. I think Kermit played in Europe. You know, Lodge potentially, you know, could be playing in Europe. Nadar is another one. Very good player. You know, but it's, yeah, like I said, it's hard to name names for people that I feel. But there's, like I said, there's good talent in South Africa, and I think I'm looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be a really good season.
Okay. Are you telling us something about Lodge? Did you just hint us?
No, not at all. No, not at all. You was just saying players that I feel could do well there. I'm just saying I think that he's one that potentially could do well sort of in Europe. But look, he's a Pirates player. I know his family's at Pirates. He's got no intentions of leaving Pirates. So there's no hint there at all. I was just literally answering a question there. But I know he's very happy where he is. So he's yeah, don't forget he was injured for a lot of this season, so I think he's kind of got a point to prove next season. He's going to want to stay there and help Pirates win the league.
I don't know about winning the league, but yeah, hopefully we can win the league, because that's a tough one. Sometimes it's on another level. There's a question here I think it's important. Like, they're asking what do you think about South African League and Continental one, the CAF?
I think the South African League is very good. I think technically the players are fantastic. They're very, very good. I think where sometimes maybe they struggle, maybe a little bit tactical awareness, game understanding a little bit. You know, but I like I said, I think it's a very good league, and it's proved that this season there's been some fantastic games, some really good games. Like when I was out there, if there was a game on from the PSL, I was watching it and I enjoyed it. I never watched a game while I was out there, even the ones I watched on telly, and I wanted to turn the TV off because this is rubbish. You know, it was good, all the games, but it was really good, and it was, like I said, it was like I watch games now with my son. My son's 10 years old. And towards the end of the season, we was watching games in South Africa, and even he was enjoying it. And he's used to watching like Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham. So he's used to watching big games here, and he's the same. He enjoyed it. So it's a good league, and it's only going to get better.
Wow. I also believe like it's just a matter of like investing in some infrastructures and development here and there. I think we're in the right direction. I think we're gonna have a beautiful future.
Yeah,
maybe when I'm dead.
I do. I agree.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I want us to play a game before I let you go.
Let's go.
A season in Paris or $1 million move to Saudi?
A season in Paris.
Are you sure?
They could pay me $1 million to go to Pirates. No, yeah.
Why is gonna kill you?
Season in Pirates.
Coach.
Yep.
Coach, I think we're gonna I think we're gonna have to end this interview right now because I'm under load shedding and it's gonna be a bigger problem with the network. If like
Yeah, no worries. Look, great to speak to you. Really great to speak to you. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it. Even though it's been cutting in and out, it's been good to speak. I'm always happy to speak to people about my experience in South Africa. So thank you very much.
thank you for the opportunity. I wish it could have been a bit better, but like I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hopefully I'll come out and I'll see you soon and we can meet in person.
I'll pray for that. I stay blessed, man.
And you. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. The network has been bad. I want to thank you all for being patient throughout. Like, I appreciate it. Let's meet again tomorrow. Shout out. Conversation with the Stars.